Hello, Dragon Questers. I got some more news in my feed today regarding Square Enix and how they're doing financially. This isn't so much game related, but it kind of is because it's Square Enix, and they're responsible for like three of the biggest JRPGs ever: Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. Clearly, I have an interest in at least one of those. Final Fantasy's kind of hit or miss with me. Some of them are amazing. Some of them I think are overhyped nonsense. Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts and I have a very bizarre relationship. I kind of feel like Kingdom Hearts is extremely overrated. I want to be a fan because I love Disney. I like most of Square Enix stuff. I was one of the first people to jump on the bandwagon for Kingdom Hearts, and when it came out, I was kind of very underwhelmed. I kind of feel like there's this Kingdom Hearts club where everybody knows the secret to enjoying the game, and I'm not invited. I want to enjoy Kingdom Hearts, I really do, but I do not think that game is that good. Anyhow, aside from that, I got this article from the Sacramento Bee. Square Enix has posted their fiscal results for the fiscal year that ended March 31st. And first, most important point is they're up 15% in net sales from last year. So that is fantastic. Their operating income is still down. They cut a lot over the last year, which is fine. They're still operating at a loss, but it's not as bad as last year. Also, their shares, or the company shares, last year was at 52.66 yen at this time. This year, it's up to 119. They have doubled their share value. This is really good news for us as gamers because it means that Square Enix is starting to go back on the upswing. Yes, they are still losing money as a company, but it is not as bad as it was last year. They're not like hemorrhaging it as bad as they were before. So let's see, more stuff in the article, blah, 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 negativity. Group has implemented various strategic initiatives such as a change in development policy, organizational reforms, and redesign of some business models. As a result of such initiatives, the group posts the extraordinary losses in addition to the recurring loss, which led to a net loss of 13 million yen for the fiscal year ended March 31st, 2013. This paragraph is taking things way incorrectly. There have been environmental changes in the game industry. A lot of them are responsible for why, like, Facebook games and casual games and cell phone games, etc., have become such a big thing. Meanwhile, the mainstream gaming audience, I'm not trying to set like casual and mainstream against each other or casual and hardcore against each other. We're all gamers. It doesn't matter. Some people want to play Bejeweled for hours. Some of us want to play Halo for hours. It doesn't matter. We're all gamers. Your grandma's probably amazing at Tetris, and she's way more hardcore than many of us would be at Tetris. Would we kick her ass in Halo? Yeah, but do not mess with her in Tetris. The gaming landscape has changed, and a lot of companies are still kind of catching up to how it has changed. Square Enix was still trying to play by the old rules last year, and that's why they had to make so many cuts. That's why they had to say goodbye to, I think it was their president or CEO, I can't remember. I really can't remember. Sakaguchi left 3/4 of the way through Final Fantasy XII because he was unhappy with how the game was being handled and how the company was being handled. The problem with Square Enix is not the result of just one person. The problem with Square Enix is a result of a bunch of suits trying to make shareholders happy. And they're probably giving shareholders very, very, very inflated ideas of what the numbers are going to be. That's why they're saying, like, sales of Tomb Raider were not as large as they wanted them to be. They wanted, like, Halo and Call of Duty and Madden sales numbers out of Tomb Raider, when Tomb Raider already kind of has its audience. The new one probably brought some new fans in, but it also probably sent some of the old fans away. I don't know why they were expecting a new Tomb Raider game to sell any better than previous Tomb Raider games. It was a poor business decision, and they lost a lot of money on Tomb Raider, not because of the game. They lost a lot of money on Tomb Raider because they sunk so much into the advertising. The month before Tomb Raider came out, you couldn't visit a website without having it shoved down your throat. And it was unnecessary. They were over-advertising. They were spending way more money than they needed to on advertising. And in the end, when the game came out, they're like, well, we didn't sell as many as we expected to. Well, that's because advertising doesn't equal sales. There's a correlation between advertising and some sales, but it's not a flat rate. You can't just advertise a specific amount and then guarantee shareholders that the game is going to sell X copies because Y was spent in advertising. It's ridiculous. Business doesn't work that way. Advertising doesn't work that way. And in our modern landscape, the majority of advertising happens in a new kind of word of mouth. You don't have to spend as much advertising because people are going to hear about games in a series that they like, and then they're going to spread the news for you. You want some advertising to remind people of when the release date is coming out, but you don't need 3-minute long ads on every single gaming website. Do a quick banner. Just be like, yeah, Tomb Raider releasing, etc., etc., etc. There's no problem with the sales of the game. Suits at Square Enix felt that they could purchase sales using advertising money, and they promised as such to their shareholders, and it was stupid of them. Look at that, water for once. It's like really hot today, so I'm fighting to stay hydrated. Moving on from that rambling, and the part that, it very much gets me. In the digital entertainment segment, the group's operating income decreased significantly, primarily due to underperformance of major titles for consumer game consoles in North America and Europe. Blame the North Americans and Europeans because we didn't plop down for 5 million in sales on Tomb Raider. You guys sold plenty of copies. Quit your whining. On the other hand, in the area of content on platforms such as browser and smartphones, several existing games are continuously contributing to the profit of this segment, as well as new titles such as Kaku-sensei Million Arthur, I have no idea what the hell that is, are expanding satisfactory, and Dragon Quest X, a major MMO released August 2012, has been showing steady performance. Finally, somebody recognizes how MMOs work. Okay, so it's like the worst selling Dragon Quest game released. I don't know if that's true or not, but it certainly didn't sell as much as any of the recent ones. That doesn't mean much. Again, it's an MMO. It has only been released in Japan. Japan is not as big on MMOs as the West is. You can't expect a Japanese-only MMO to do the numbers of a Western MMO. It's silly. 2, it's still making them money. They've probably made their money back now. The game has been out since August. People are paying a recurring monthly fee. I'm playing it. Servers fill up. There are plenty of people playing this game. There are plenty of people playing the game to fill up servers when I'm playing it. And that's middle of the night in Japan. Because they're like 16, 17 hours ahead of me. There are people playing it all hours. I can guarantee that because I'm on it. and there are servers that fill up. I was going somewhere with that, and I stopped. I cannot figure out where I was going. Regarding the amusement segment, amusement facility operations have been showing steady progress. However, negative effects caused by sluggish performance of arcade game machines that were released during the fiscal year ended March 31st, 2013, led to the operating loss of this segment. This is something that I was not actually aware of. I didn't realize that Squeenix was still trying to push arcade machines. Arcades in general in Japan have been losing a lot of money. There's an economic decline. It's worldwide. It's not just here in America. I know everybody in America is like, our economy, our economy, our economy. It's not just an American thing. This is a worldwide problem. And certain entertainment venues will explode, and certain ones will drop. Arcades do well in strong economic times. Movie theaters do well in weak economic times. It's just this trend. I don't have an explanation for it. I don't have the data to throw in front of you either. I could be wrong, but that's the trend that I've seen, and if I'm wrong, then throw some data at me and be like, Sai, you're an idiot. And I'll be like, oh, well, here's data. I can't disagree with that. I'm an idiot. But that was one of the reasons that, like, movies really picked up during the Great Depression. It was cheap entertainment at the time. People need entertainment when things suck. Arcades, for some reason, lately, even in Japan, where there's still a comparatively booming arcade business, they just haven't been doing very well. Arcades in Japan have been losing a lot of money. The fact that Square Enix is still trying to create for arcades and push in arcades, they're going to lose money on it. At the same time, I'm very happy that they're still trying to support arcades. I wish arcades would make us more of a comeback here in the US. Let's see. Group boasts a valuable portfolio of intellectual property, including Final Fantasy, which has sold over 100 million units worldwide, Dragon Quest, which has sold over 61 million units worldwide. That's worldwide. Dragon Quest is still way more popular in Japan than Final Fantasy is. Tomb Raider, which has sold over 35 million units worldwide, and they're saying that Tomb Raider doesn't do well. 35 million units. Anyhow, I'll post the article below. It's largely good news because we actually have some numbers here that show that Dragon Quest is actually, it's not a flop. People want it to be a flop because a lot of people are upset about it being an MMO. Freaking deal with it, you know? To be fair, I want Final Fantasy XIV to be a flop. Well, part of me does. Part of me really wants it to be good because I love a good Final Fantasy. Some of my favorite games are Final Fantasy. Oh, Final Fantasy VI? Yeah. And 12. I'm one of those weirdos who loved 12. I actually felt 12 was great. One of the reasons I liked 12 was because Vaughn turned out to be a much better character than I was expecting. You look at Vaughn and you're like, great. Another teenage hero. Let me guess. He's got amnesia. His girlfriend's been kidnapped or killed. Hometown was burned down. Quest for revenge. No, they actually took the high road on this. I really enjoyed this story in Final Fantasy XII and the character development. They were much more realistically developed characters than the more anime-developed characters in previous games. I'm not saying that looking down on anime, it's that I like the change from time to time. You know, I can't go through all of my JRPGs having cookie-cutter copies of all of my heroes, and I think that that's something that Square Enix has always had a problem with. But hey, it's gotten better. I've rambled on long enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. Any more Dragon Quest X news or news regarding Square Enix's abysmal financial situation comes about, because that does determine development of the games that we love, I will share it. So thanks for watching. Peace out. There's more Dragon Quest X LP coming your way, and I'm probably going to play some Monster Hunter maybe tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but I'm definitely probably going to record it. Definitely probably. That's a great term, because it means I'm definitely planning on it, but that probably is in there because I don't know if I'm actually going to get around to doing it. Anyhow, thanks for watching all of my videos, guys. You're all awesome. I will keep you abreast of the news. Peace out.